Welcome to Ireland, where my wife and I spent a week on vacation, or as they would say in Ireland, a week on holiday. We're going to show you some of the places that we stayed and some of the things that we did, so I hope you'll enjoy. So our trip started in Dublin, and one of the first things that we did was take a tour of the Jameson Distillery, which I would highly recommend. It was a great tour, and at the end of the tour, you actually get a complimentary Jameson cocktail, which you can see my wife enjoying hers right here. The following day, we took a tour of Guinness, which is probably our favorite thing that we did in all of Dublin. Here you can see the lease that the owner signed back in the day for 9,000 years. So Guinness won't be going anywhere anytime soon there in Dublin. The tour of Guinness is a self-guided tour, so you get to go at your own pace, which we really enjoyed. And at the end of the tour, you do get a complimentary Guinness, which you get to enjoy on the Sky Bar, where you can see all of Dublin. And you can see us enjoying ours here. So we would highly recommend the tour of Guinness. After we toured Guinness, we decided to explore Dublin and check out a little pub, which was really cool because they had a ton of Muhammad Ali memorabilia, which, being from Louisville, Kentucky, we really enjoyed. So after some exploring, we found ourselves in the Temple Bar area, so we decided to go to the actual Temple Bar and check it out. I will say it was a lot of fun, but it was a little crowded, so we didn't stay too long and we called it a night after we heard some live music. The following day, we rented our car for the rest of our trip on our road trip around Ireland. And here I am driving on the left side of the road for the first time, which I will say was not as difficult as I was expecting. So we started off in our first city outside of Dublin, which was Cork. Now I will say Cork was a little different than we were expecting. It was really crowded, and we actually found parking in city center Cork very difficult. So we decided to head south to Kinsale, which is probably the best decision that we made all trip. Kinsale was not on our itinerary whatsoever, but we decided to check it out and it did not disappoint. It was probably my wife's favorite city in all of Ireland. So a little bit outside of Kinsale, we decided to check out the Wild Atlantic Way, which I would highly recommend doing if you plan to visit Ireland. Just go explore, because there are so many things and areas that you can just pull off and walk around and see things like this. Here are some cliffs that we had no intention of finding at all and just stumbled across, and they were absolutely amazing. So once again, I would highly recommend just going and getting lost in Ireland. Here we are on one of our stops where we're just kind of walking around exploring. And that wraps up our time in Kinsale and Cork, and the next spot was Galway. And this drone clip here is actually in Salt Hill, which is a little outside of Galway. But we did drive into Galway to experience the city center, which is known for its street performers and shopping. So we spent a few hours in Galway listening to some music and exploring, and then the following day it was off on our next stop to Slieve League, which is one of the things that I was looking forward to the most about Ireland, and it certainly did not disappoint. Slieve League is the tallest sea cliffs in all of Ireland, which dwarf the cliffs of Moher and are far more crowded with tourists. When we were at Slieve League, we maybe saw a maximum of 10 other people exploring. And we spent, I would say, 2 hours there. One other thing to note about Slieve League and Northern Ireland is that it gets much colder and much windier there. So I would definitely advise dressing a lot warmer as you get more north. So after Slieve League, we headed to Donegal, which is about 30 minutes outside of Slieve League, and we stayed in a castle, which was an amazing experience. The castle was called Lufesk Solis. The castle even had its own dragon out in front. This was probably the most luxurious hotel I've ever stayed in, and here is a tour of our hotel room, which for one night ran us about $230 US. As you can see, it was very spacious. It came with a king-size bed, a very large bathroom. The bathroom had heated floors, a heated towel rack, a huge bathtub, which my wife really enjoyed. The restaurant inside the castle was also first rate as well. So staying here was really the cherry on top of our trip, and I felt like staying in a castle in Ireland was an absolute must. So for the next stop on our trip was Giants Causeway. Giants Causeway is the result of a volcanic eruption that occurred millions of years ago. And the result of that eruption is truly incredible, and it's something that should definitely be on your list to see if you're headed to Ireland. So next on our trip, we just decided to do some exploring and see some more of the Irish countryside, which you can see here. And this was actually an abandoned castle, the Dunluce Castle. After that, we headed to our Airbnb that we stayed for the night before heading back to Dublin the following day. But before heading back to Dublin, we did want to see a few more things that Northern Ireland had to offer. So here we stopped at the Carrick-a-Reid Rope Bridge, which unfortunately when we visited it was way too windy to actually cross the bridge, which was a bummer because we really wanted to, but it would have just been way too dangerous. Here you can see the rope bridge, which would have provided some amazing views. And next, after that, we headed to the Dark Hedges, which, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you will recognize this scene here. I will leave you with a few drone shots of Ireland, and would just like to say Ireland was one of the most amazing vacations or holidays that I've ever been on, and I could not recommend it more. And if you are considering visiting Ireland, road tripping is the way to go because you get to experience so much of Ireland's beautiful countryside. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I would appreciate it if you give it a like and a share. Thanks for watching.